Hey guys, it's Liz. I'm here to share with you another project. This is my latest project. I just finished this a few minutes ago, and I decided to make this box for my sister, Vicky. A couple months back, she asked me to make her a jewelry box, and I've just been kind of busy, but I finally got a chance to do it for her. And what I decided to do with this box, I wanted to make something more vintage, and I also wanted to make it look like a trunk. So it's like a little vintage trunk. So here goes. I started off with, just a regular wooden box from Michael's, Joann's, Hobby Lobby, whatever. And first I used some gesso over the entire box, just a light coat of gesso to prep it. And then after that, what I did is I did this a little bit, because I wanted a vintage look, I did a little bit something different. I usually cover my boxes with paper all throughout, but I decided to leave a couple of, spaces without the paper, and I'll show you what I did. After I gessoed it up, I used modeling paste, and what I did is I used a piece of plastic, like, one of those little plastic bags. I just wadded it up, and I applied the modeling paste on this, just to create that texture. Do you see that? I love the way that came out. So I just used a wadded up piece of plastic all throughout. And then once I did that, I then used my Lindy Stamp Gang. I used 3 different colors. I used Cape Cod Coral, I used the South Shore Sand, and a little bit of Plumeria Pink, just a little bit. And I just kind of spritzed it, here and there. And once it dried, I went over it with some Vintage Photo Distress ink. So I hope the camera can pick up all those, different spots of color, but I really like the way that came out. And the reason I did that is I wanted this to look really vintage, like a box that's, old and the paper's starting to peel off, so that's what I did. So I really like the way this came out. I like this technique a lot. So anyways, I did that there on the box here. I also did that to the top, and a lot of it got covered up, but I'll show you guys in a minute. And then also on the sides. See, really like the way that came out, because it just looks like, the paper is just so old that it's peeling off, and I love the texture. It's really cool. Okay, so once I did that, I then adhered all my papers, and the paper collection I used here was the Prima Thyme, as well as some Webster's pages. Okay, and I just, adhere the paper, but I did, rip the edges on this because I wanted it to look, old and vintage. And all the edges are inked in Vintage Photo. So I really like it. It almost looks like it's burnt, like it got burned. So I really like that. Very cool. Okay, so I did that all throughout the paper, all throughout the box. And this is where I used the Webster's pages. This is actually a piece of vellum, that vellum paper by Webster's pages. And the flowers really, really matched the Prima Thyme collection, these flowers here. So I fussy cut them out, including this little bird, and I adhered it right over my paper. So see how you can still see the paper underneath? I thought that was really neat. So this is just vellum, that vellum paper from Webster's pages. I did that here. I also did it back here. Love the way that came out. Very neat. It's like a different layer. And then also over here on this side. Very cool. I thought the Webster's pages, this vellum, worked perfectly because it just matches really, really well. So anyway, so that's what I did to the box. And then after that, all the edges, like I said, were inked in the Vintage Photo. I then started to decorate the top of my box, and I wanted to go for a really vintage, like a chest, like a trunk. So it's just sitting in your room. You walk in and it's like a catch-all. You put all your little goodies on top. So that's the look I was going for. So let me show you what I did here at the top. I started off with another piece of the Prima Thyme paper. I adhered it on there. And most of this got covered up. But here's also some more of that texture that I used. All right here. Really cool. From the modeling paste. Okay, and then here we have a Tim Holtz weathered clock. And I just used some chipboard. I cut it out. I gave it 2 coats of gesso, and I just sponged it on so it could be kind of bumpy. And then I took my Vintage Photo sponge, and I lightly sponged the edges but then I wanted a little bit more color, so I just dabbed the ink pad right over the raised edges from the gesso. So I hope that you guys can see the different colors there. Very cool. Okay, here we have a Tim Holtz word key, and it says memory. Very cool. And these two beautiful flowers are actually made out of some kind of velvet material. They're very, very soft. And these are by Martha Stewart. And all I did here is just add a little bit of vintage photo on the edges of the petals, just to, age them a little bit. That's all. But the color was already like that. It was a nice pink color. And I thought these flowers are almost identical to these. Right? Very cool. So I thought that was really neat. They match perfectly. Okay, so those two flowers are from Martha Stewart. And then over here, this is going to my sister Vicky. So I added a little V Scrabble piece. Here I have a little button, a little green button, a pearl. And here we have two little tickets that I just scrunched up with my hands, and then I just put some vintage photo ink over it. I just use the ink pad to go over it. That way it picks up on the creases. Very cool. So just two little tickets there. And let's see here, this is a little stamp that was fussy cut from paper. I think it's like a recollections paper. It's got a bunch of postage stamps, so I just cut that out, taped it, glued it on here. This bauble was given to me by Sabrina. Hi, Sabrina. And I just added that pretty little bauble there, really neat. And this pretty lace that you're seeing here, this crochet trim, was given to me by Rosanna. Thank you, Rosanna. I thought this was so perfect for this because it's definitely that vintage feel. I love it. So I just, placed that on the bottom there before I added all my little different, little goodies here. Okay, and let's see, moving on. This is a little pen. It's an old-fashioned pen die cut by K & Company. And I just added that on here, but at the end I added the Tim Holtz pen nib. Really cool, right? Because it's a pen, so I thought that was neat. Here we have a couple of little pearls I just added on there. And here I decided to make like a little booklet. This was a die cut from a K & Company collection. I don't remember the name of the collection, but I have, the die cuts and stuff. So what I did, I decided to make a little book. This was just this front cover, so to speak. What I did is I took I have old books that I buy from, Goodwill and whatnot. So I took a couple of pages out of there, cut them to size, and I made a little book. See? After I cut the pages, I inked them all with vintage photo to age them. And here we have my little book. So it's like a little journal, really cute. And I just added this little piece of leather on there. And then the leather goes in here as a bookmark. See? Very cool. So that's in there. Made my little book, my little journal. Okay. And let's see, what else? Okay, up here, focus. There we go. And then I just added two coins from my collection of coins. These are just, one is from Belize. Actually, this one's from Belize, and I believe this is from, I don't remember where that's from. But I just added two old coins up here. Okay. And let's see, did I miss anything? Oh, okay. Then what I did on the side is I used a jump ring and some chain to attach this chain to the key, and then I did this little cameo, and this cameo base I found at Hobby Lobby. It's one of those spare parts, and this is the Webster's Pages cameo. Really pretty. So I just used glossy accents, placed it here in the center. I really like the way that came out. It's very nice. And then I just have the cameo just hanging here. The chain comes up over here on the side and just kind of hangs here as well. And then I added a bunch of cheesecloth throughout. So you got some here just coming out from the flowers, and we got some more over here. Just all over the little cluster going on right here. Very neat. I really like the way it came out. It really does look like, a vintage trunk, or you just throw everything on top of it, right? So, very cool. And I normally do not like to mix my metals because I'm kind of, I don't know, I'm a perfectionist. Everything has to match or be the same. But this really added to the look of the, the vintage trunk, having the mixed metals. This is the little hardware that came with the box. I just Went ahead and added that back on there, but I did use a little bit of Rub and Buff on top just to tone it down a bit because it's really, really bright. And here I used the Tim Holtz corner pieces, and I did use Rub and Buff. I don't know if you guys can pick it up there, just so the design can show better because, you know, it's kind of dark. So I used that. And I like the way it looks, you know, with the mixed metals. I mean, you've got silver up here from the pen nib. This little latch here is gold, and then we have the darker antique gold, so I really like that. Very cool. For the bottom, I did just add another, you know, piece of the pattern paper, and I added these cute little feet. And these I picked up at Michael's, you know, the little bags of wooden feet. And I used the same technique that I used here. The gesso, the modeling paste, and then the little spritzes of the Lindy Stamking. So I really like the way that those came out, those little feet. Very cool. Okay, now let me show you the inside. The inside I pretty much kept it simple because this was going to be really, really busy. So what I did inside, I lined the insides with just another sheet of the Prima paper, and all the edges are inked, as you can see with the vintage photo. Okay, just finished that. And then the top is also just another sheet of the pattern paper and also some of the vellum paper that I fussy cut from the Webster's Pages paper. So I just added that on there, and then some parts I didn't glue down because I wanted them to, you know, it's old, so it's like it's peeling, that kind of thing. So that's what I wanted. Very neat. So that's my project, guys. And again, this is for my sister Vicky. Really? Can't even get in here? Yeah, there we go. And I really, really hope she likes it. She just asked me to make a jewelry box, but she said, you know, just go for it, whatever you want to make for me. So this is what I came up with, because I know she's into, you know, vintage and whatnot. And then also she studied horticulture in college, so I thought this was kind of neat. That's why I used a lot of natural elements, like you've got the flowers and then the little journal with the little birds in it. I thought that was neat. So I really hope she likes it. I hope you guys like it as well. And thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll make sure to get back to you. Alright guys, thanks a lot. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.